Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to F1 2020 here for my team career mode, the US Grand Prix round 13 I believe, or round 14. I believe this is the third to last race. After this we have Mexico and then the season finale at Brazil. And USA typically not a strong track for me. I'm not really overly keen on just how the track flows in the first sector, or how just how good I am at it. Really, it's not fun to drive really. So obviously I was a bit annoyed when this track came up in the calendar, but with the championship on the line, we're going to have to do well here. I believe Valtteri could win it this episode, but I have to score 0 points and he has to win, or something like that. I don't remember what the drivers' standings are. But unfortunately, actually fortunately, I think we just get through into Q2, 16th place. It was it was far too close. Not really a confidence booster, to say the least, going to this weekend. Although same my teammate is in 13th, as I'm just checking sector times here to see whereabouts I am. But yes, already been a bit on the downside about this track, and then having to come in and only getting 16th in qualifying one. It was a bit of a shock to the system really. But we're going out in Q2 now. We did a bank a lap time on our Q1 set of tyres, and now we're going again. And we are currently 8 tenths up on our previous best lap time, so this should get us quite comfortably to 28. Hopefully we can improve a bit more. Currently Perez in 12th is on a 28.4, so we're looking to definitely beat that. We go across the line, and it is 8th place. So a turnaround of pace there. I guess I get more comfortable with the car, and that has allowed us to get into Q3 on the soft compound tyre. Is Kimi Raikkonen sets a 1 minute 26.6, which was absolutely out of nowhere. Don't know where he found that pace to go second faster than Hamilton, but fair place to him. Everyone started on the softs, so no real strategic advantage. I believe we are going to be doing the 2-stop. Actually, no, we're not, because it's raining in the race. So, yeah, that's definitely going to help us out a lot, as I am a lot more comfortable in the wet. I don't know what it is. It seems like every other F1 game, I'm comfortable in the wet. F1 2016, I was fine. I didn't play 2017. 2018, I loved the wet. 2019 comes along and it's absolutely dreadful. But yes, this game seems to be good for my driving style in the wet. We finished qualifying 3 actually, and I think we only did the one run, and there was a 28.2, which pushes in 9th. So not really starting the weekend off where I'd want to be. I mean, to get through to Q3 at this track, I am blooming happy with that. I was expecting to be a lot further back, a lot further down the order really. And to give it a wet race, I think we've got a good chance of getting some good points. Our main goal is to beat Valtteri, but I shall catch you off the start of the US Grand Prix. So after that completely butchered intro, we are getting ready to start the race here. We're going to be choosing our strategy. As you can see, it's absolutely lashing it down here in Austin. But it is going to get lighter towards the end of the race, and we do have the potential to go to dries. Obviously, it says the dries are the last 7th of the race, but you know what this game is like. Dries could come in the next 5 laps, because we don't know. We're going to up our front wing to 411, and just to clarify, 211 isn't my preferred setup. I compromised qualifying, so I guess that's probably a reason as to why I was off the pace quite a bit, is because I was compromising qualifying to make sure I was really quick in the race. And this setup, 411 wings, is beautiful for this track in the wet. I adjusted it ever so slightly to compensate for my career mode car being faster. That is like my standard wet weather setup for USA in normal cars. But yeah, I don't think I changed much, maybe a bit of the suspension. I don't think Season 2 and 1 is all too dissimilar. But yes, we are going to be looking to do we're going to be doing a one stop. We're going to be stretching out these inters, these wets rather, until the rain ends, really. Because, we don't want to be making 2 stops, and these wets can easily do the entire race. Anyway, we're getting ready to start the race. We're actually starting in P6 because of a couple of penalties for people. Bottas starting in first. That's not going to be difficult. Well, it's not going to be easy to get past him, should I say. It's going to be quite difficult. As we're getting underway now. I completely missed the start, but it's a pretty decent start. We hug the inside, as we know what the AI are like for you. We get tapped by Carlos Sainz there. And we get our first warning, obviously, for getting squeezed. As Raikkonen gets through into first place ahead of Valtteri Bottas. We've moved up to third, so 3 positions in one corner. Inside pained evidence here at the first corner of the circuit of the Americas. And now we've got to close in on Valtteri and Kimi. Now, I don't know what Raikkonen's where the pace is like, but say he got Valtteri off the line. I'm fairly confident that Kimi could at least hold him up. Well, obviously we've got to be a little bit cautious with our fuel, but that shouldn't be all too difficult to save as we nearly piled the back of Valtteri Bottas there going into the hairpin. Not really compensating for the braking or the wet weather conditions there going into that hairpin, but luckily no harm was done. As Nick De Vries is out of the session on lap 1, and this isn't actually a mechanical failure, this is the AI being just the AI in general. We're going to have a look at this instant here in the replay camera once I figure out how this works. Obviously we're going to scroll back through the entire field instead of going forwards on the cameras because, that's intelligent. I believe this is Nick De Vries here. Oh, one of these two Williams is Nick De Vries. Yes, there we go, that's Nick. Going into the hairpin, he just he tries to follow his teammate through and he doesn't spot Ricciardo. Now, fair enough to him, I didn't see Ricciardo on the replay cameras. I was like, how is he retired? But you can imagine what the driver's going to be seeing there. It'll be very late for him. I mean, he could have definitely avoided that a bit more, but under braking, it looked like he lost it a bit, and I believe that's Roman Grosjean has also ploughed into the back of him. So yeah, a bit of a incident-packed first lap there for the back of the field, with Nick De Vries not really paying attention as we go deep into the corner at the end of Sector 2, as we nearly lose the car on our own there. Sainz has put us under quite a bit of pressure here, but we're just getting used to the conditions. Give it 3, 4, 5 laps maybe, and we should be faster than the cars around us, as I'm naturally quicker in the wet than the AI. I don't think it's I don't think I've had a race so far where I haven't been quicker in the wet than the AI. I don't know what it is, whether they're just programmed to be slow or whether I'm just naturally quicker. I'm going to say it's the latter because that makes me feel slightly better about myself. Anyways, we're having a bit of a squirmy opening lap here. We're still sighting the track a little bit. Obviously the full wet conditions are considerably more difficult than the intermediates, but luckily we've got a load of ERS that we can just play around with to compensate for any of the slides that we have. And first lap over, Kimi's still leading and we're only a second behind Valtteri, so obviously DRS is not going to be enabled in the wet, but Kimi's doing a very good job at parking the bus here. As now we cut on to lap 3, we've sort of got our eye in for the track conditions now, and as Jeff is telling us, the rain's getting lighter, so intermediates should be coming around soon as I ask for another weather report. We are going to try and go for a move on Valtteri Bottas here. Unfortunately he's got good straight line speed as we're running 11 wings, but that allows us to brake a lot later going into that braking zone, and we side up the inside there. So a pretty decent move. Obviously, yeah, we are going to be considerably slower on the straights than these guys, but we should have the braking advantage, and I feel in the wet, having better braking is probably better than having overall top speed, as braking the wet is quite difficult. Now on lap 5, we're going to do the same move as we did on Valtteri to our teammate. A little bit of a dive as we run wide there, and it looks like Kimi's going to get us back. We're trying to hold on to the position going into this right-hander, and it looks like Kimi actually yields the position there. So maybe he's thinking about our championship. Obviously there's no team orders because we can't do them, and I wouldn't do them anyway. But I think it was just only inevitable that Kimi let us go there so he doesn't lose more time. As you can see, we are a lot faster than the cars around us. Our fuel situation is also pretty good at this point. You know, we've saved a lot of fuel, and yeah, as you can see, going to lap 7 now, we've already pulled 4 seconds over Kimi, so like 2 seconds a lap, we're faster than the cars around us. And we're going to come across the line to absolutely smash our previous best lap time, although that wasn't dirty air. Still it's faster to do a 48.5. So yeah, we definitely have solid pace this race, and now what we're going to do is pull away as quickly as possible. Obviously we still have the intermediate conditions to come, and the inters are not going to be the preferred race tyre, as we actually have a strategy change on lap 9. We've got 7 seconds to science behind us, as Valtteri and Raikkonen pitted, and I believe they pitted for inters. I am not sure why. I think I went a lap longer actually. I think the strategy call came just as I passed the pit lane, so I had to go a lap longer, or I just wanted to stick it out an extra lap, as go from inters to west doesn't really lose you all too much time. But now we're coming into the pits. It looks like we are going to hold on to the lead, and we're not going to get, well, we're not definitely not going to get held up. As you can see, Kimi is coming through the second to last corner now. We've pulled into our pit box. Hopefully we can have a good stop. 2.4 seconds, pretty decent. And now we're going out on the inters. And indeed, some of the drive, yeah, they're all put on intermediate tyres here. So we come out the pits. Raikkonen did put on intermediates, and it looks like he's gained 5 seconds on us. So yeah, maybe it was actually worth pitting. But that advantage didn't really last too long, as we extended quite quickly. And on lap 11 here, we're going to set our fastest, or our new fastest lap of the race, 4 seconds faster than our previous best. So yeah, I guess there is quite a big difference there. So I guess I must have just I got the call as soon as they did. Like I think I drove straight past their pit entry, and then Jeff was like, "Oh yeah, you can come in for inters, by the way." So obviously the engineer being useful as always. On lap 14, the track is starting to dry out a little bit. Obviously, it was about maybe still 10 laps away from actual dry running, but the track's drying quite quickly. We set it the fastest lap of the race, and here on lap 20, we've got a 14-second lead to Raikkonen, who's still holding down P2. So at this point, I was thinking we could actually get some, you know, a seriously good result. We could get our first ever 1-2 for Chungus Khan Racing. But it looks like the track has dried enough. It's still spitting with water, but I could definitely tell at this point that the intermediates were going off, and I still wasn't sure about dries, but luckily we do have a fresh set of softs to use. I did save this for the race, and we should be able to use them. And this is where this 14-second lead is going to come in very handy indeed, because we're probably a second a lap slower, maybe half a second, to the cars around us as DRS gets enabled, so it's definitely time for dry running here. The only reason I'm concerned is just because of our pace. We have a wet weather setup, and as you saw in qualifying, we weren't particularly quick, but the lead we've built up should allow us to hold on to it, unless we make a right meal of things. And also, we've got to be careful with penalties. I believe we're only on the 1 warning, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't pick up another 2. We are going to keep the wing, we're actually going to lower the wing to 211, and that should allow us to at least be relatively quick in the straights and also relatively quick in the corners as we come in. It looks like everybody's pitting now, apart from a Ferrari Sebastian Vettel, but he's still going to hamper us, and we're going to rejoin. Unfortunately, it looks like Raikkonen is actually going to suffer a loss in position to Carlos Sainz due to his him getting held, because obviously in 2020 or 2021, as the year this video is being made, we can't actually double stack. So yeah, I guess that's the thing. And yeah, that was pretty much the race. Kimi is still fighting away massively with Carlos Sainz here. As he actually gets past him, going through the right-hander at the start of Sector 3. So fair play to Kimi. Now he's got to hold off Sainz. Luckily, our car is a little bit faster than that McLaren at this stage of the career mode as we set a personal best there. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get fastest lap. But obviously that's not really much of an issue as we are currently outscoring Valtteri Bottas by 10 points. Lap 26 here, we are coming to the back of one of the Haas's. I believe we might have picked up a penalty there. I didn't really pay attention, but we do have a penalty. Luckily, it's not going to affect us. And what's more important here, obviously we're going to take the win, but Kimi has fended off Valtteri into pretty much the last overtaking opportunity on this track. We're pushing as hard as we can for a fastest lap as we get another warning for exceeding track limits. So we've got a 50-second gap to Kimi, so we're not really too fussed as we come across the line. It's not going to be fastest lap, but it is going to be our first ever 1-2 for Chungus Khan Racing. We've pulled 10 points over Valtteri in the championship, or we've gained 10 points over him, so I'd say all in all, a pretty successful day for one of my least favourite tracks on the entire game. Yeah, it's nice to see those two purple suits standing at the top of the podium, and to have it with Kimi is certainly special. Someone of his caliber. Fortunately, that's not going to stop him from leaving the team. I was kind of hoping maybe the prospect of a second world title for Kimi might entice him back, but it looks like he's done with his hobby for good. And yeah, that was the race really. As you can see here, 50 points to Valtteri Bottas. 2 races remaining, 52 points up for grabs. So Valtteri next episode has to score 1 point or 2 points, I think. And he's won the championship, so it's going to be a mammoth task to get past him or to beat him. I didn't really think it was going to happen, just because the amount of races we have left and the sort of poor start we had to the season. I say poor start. We had a fantastic start to the season. We lost momentum in Britain, and that's definitely hampered us overall. Having Valtteri just get 26 points for free, literally he basically gets an entire race win for us, and it's rather annoying. And it's basically going to play havoc with us in the championship. You can probably guess now that we aren't going to win it, and I sort of knew at this point that we weren't. Obviously, to pull 50 points back is doable. It's mathematically possible, but it's not realistically possible. We have 2 very strong tracks coming up next, but even that isn't going to stop Valtteri. I don't feel like that's all too much of a spoiler. Obviously, if we'd have had a good result in Britain, like if we'd have come even 5th, like where I feel like I'm naturally going to be, we would have done well. But it is what it is, I guess. I'm gonna have to wrap up the video quite quickly here because there isn't a highlights reel at the end, as I did have to do this race in 2 separate halves. We're just currently looking through potential drivers for next season, keeping my eye on a few people. Let me know in the comments below who you think we're going to go for, or who you think I should go for, because I do have a couple of drivers in mind, and I'd love to know who you think we should go for. And we're placing some watch list on some drivers here. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I will catch you for some more F1 2020 content very soon.